Hi, violins and violas. I want to talk to you today about a shifting and vibrato warm-up activity that I would like you to add to your practice this week. So I took my violin here, and you'll notice I put 4 pencil marks. I would encourage you, just for this exercise, to do this once, because I'm going to ask you a question that I wonder if you'll know the answer to, and that's this. When you shift from one position to the next, do you have a tendency do you shift over and you're sharp? Or do you do a tendency to shift flat? Or are you just better than me and you're right on the money every time? I'd like you to experiment with that in each position, first, second, third, and fourth. What are your tendencies? I'd be curious to see if you have the same tendencies in every shift. And that'll tell me something about your hand shape and how properly you're shifting. So with that said, okay, so I marked my position. So this is going to be our shifting pattern. So we're going to work our way from the top to the bottom, meaning when we shift, I'd like you to pick a string, please not the E. The A or the D is fine. So first thing, we're going to establish a one-to-one pattern, means that's how we're going to base all of our shifts. So we're going to go from first to fourth, 1 to 1. And then we're going to establish our vibrato. And then we're going to come back. And we're going to establish our vibrato. Then we're going to shift 1 to 1, but add the 2. 2. Vibrate. Come back to 1. Then 1, but 3. See how we're adding a finger each time? And then back to 1. 1 down to 4. And then back. And then 1 to 3. We're working our way back. 1 to 2. 1 to 1. And back. So that's fourth. Then we're going to go our way to third. 1 to 1. 1 to 2. Establishing the vibrato every time. 1 to, see how I shifted sharp? That's my pattern. 3, back. 1 to 4, back. 3, 2, 1, right? Then I'm going to second. 1 to 1. This is actually the hardest one for me to do. 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, etc. 3, 2, 1, and then vibrate. So the only thing we're ever using in first is just the first finger. And I would be curious, as you do this exercise, is your vibrato better in fourth because it's more centered against your center of gravity than it is here? For me, it totally is. When you do this exercise, your thumb and your first finger always travel together. They are on the same plane. Also, when you are doing this, we're not we are sliding, but 1 to 1 is a point. We're going always from 1 to 1, whatever it is. So if I start on the D string and I go 1, like that, that's what it's going to sound like. It'll sound terrible, but each time you're looking like that. So there's a sliding feel to it. So I would say that it should be slow enough that once you get familiar with the activity, you can add vibrato at the beginning and you can add vibrato at the end. The other thing that tells me when I do that is if I add vibrato at the end, I know that my hand is loose. If I'm gripping as I shift, there's no way I can get that. I want to be loose. Breathe every time that you feel like you're going to shift, breathe, and then breathe out. Look, no one's watching you except for you, so it doesn't matter how silly it looks. Relax, easy shifts. Take a note. Is your shift high, low? What's the pattern? That's going to help us moving forward. So add this to your practice regimen. It's about a 2-minute drill before you start practicing. I like to end it as like a cool down too when I'm done. So if you want to add it at the beginning and that's fine. I'm looking forward to seeing how you do this.